Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright. So the following information is from the link there at the top of the top of the page. Sorry. Excuse me. Alright, causes of stress. Medically reviewed by Jennifer Casarella, sorry if I mispronounced that, MD, on March 16th of 2020, written by Stephanie Watson. Causes of stress. Effects of stress on your health. 4-minute read. Alright. So the kids won't stop screaming. Your boss has been hounding you because you turned a report in late, and you owe the IRS thousands of dollars you don't have. You're seriously stressed out. So, stress is actually a normal part of life. At times, it serves a useful purpose. Stress can motivate you to get the promotion at work or run the last mile of a marathon. But if you don't get a handle on your stress and it becomes long term, it can seriously interfere with your job, family life, and health. More than half of Americans say they fight with friends and loved ones because of stress, and more than 70% say they experience real physical and emotional symptoms from it. Wow, and stress does really bad things to your immune system, which allows more sickness in, which is going to make dealing with just life in general more difficult, which I believe is part of this nefarious agenda that is currently holding sway over the current infrastructure. But all right, let's move on here. So read on to learn why you get stressed out and how that stress, might be affecting your health. So causes of stress. Everyone has different stress triggers. Work stress. Let's try that again. Work stress tops the list, according to the surveys. 40% of U.S. workers admit to experiencing office stress. That's not good. And one quarter say work is the biggest source of stress in their lives. Well, we're going to change that, so you guys have some hope. It's ridiculous. It really does go back. And again, that goes into their agenda too about perpetuating low vibrational frequency. If they can get us doing jobs dependent on, or making us feel like we're dependent on jobs that we have to work that literally cause us stress, and knowing that every day, knowing that you have to go to a job that you know is going to stress you out, that in itself is going to perpetuate more stress. And that's all things that they use to feed off of us and to keep us in a lower vibrational paradigm. So anyway, let's move on here. Causes of work stress include being unhappy in your job, having a heavy workload or too much responsibility, working long hours, having poor management, unclear expectations of your work, or no say in the decision-making process. Some other BS. All right, let's move on here. Working under dangerous conditions, not good. Being insecure about your chance for advancement or risk of termination. Just insecurity in itself is not good. Having to give speeches in front of colleagues, that has to do with insecurity. Facing a discrimination or harassment at work, especially if your company isn't supportive. That's essentially enabling bulliers. It's not good. Life stresses can also have a big impact. Examples of life stress. So this is the thing that we have. We have a lot of people here in America who are dependent to survive on things that literally stress them out. It's a recipe for toxicity. It is what it is. The death of a loved one, that can be stressful. Divorce, loss of a job, increase in financial obligations, getting married, moving to a new home. These are things that also should be good for you. Like getting married should be something that promotes like a lot of happiness. Getting a new home, like these are good stuff. But anyway, chronic illness or injury, I can see that. Emotional problems, definitely. Taking care of an elderly or sick family member, that can be rough. But if you get over the fact that it's another challenge on you, and you actually just embrace that challenge in your life, it can actually transmute into a very beautiful and good thing. It actually can help relieve stress if you go along with that flow and stop fighting it. But a lot of times people fight these type of things because they don't want to deal with them. But that's where love is supposed to help us persevere through these things and just accept and embrace what's around us and try to help it in the most loving way we can. But all right, let's move on here. So traumatic events such as a natural disaster, theft, rape, or violence against you or a loved one. It's totally, I can totally see that. So sometimes the stress comes from inside rather than outside. You can stress yourself out just by worrying about things. All of these factors can lead to stress. I can totally attest to that, as I can overthink things all the time. Also fear and uncertainty. When you regularly hear about the threat of terrorist attacks, global warming, and toxic chemicals on the news, fear-mongering. This is why continuing to talk about the problem without presenting a solution is perpetuating more low vibrational energy. That's why I don't condone it. It can cause you to feel stressed, especially because you feel like you have no control over these events. And there are solutions too. And even though disasters are typically very rare events, their vivid coverage in the media may make them seem as if they are more likely to occur than they really are. Yep. Fears can also hit closer to home, such as being worried that you won't finish a project or work or won't have enough money to pay your bills this month. Yep, that too, and that's also potentially by design. Something potentially, there's a lot of people saying that it is, but all right, let's move on here. So attitudes and perceptions, how you view the world or a particular situation can determine whether it causes stress. For example, if your television set is stolen and you take the attitude, it's okay, my insurance company will pay for a new one, you'll be far less stressed than if you think, my TV is gone and I'll never get it back. What if these thieves come back to my house and steal it again, or something else? Yeah, I mean, that's a very good example. Similarly, people who feel like they're doing a good job at work, will be less stressed out by a big upcoming project than those who worry that they are incompetent. Very true. All right, so unrealistic expectations. No one is perfect. If you expect to do everything right all the time, you're destined to feel stressed when things don't go as expected. Very true. That's why I'm all about progress, not perfection. All right, change. Any major life change can be stressful, even a happy event like a wedding or a job. I mean, it can be. I think a lot of it has to do with the program and the society that we're in, because if you're really going to get married, that should be something you're beautiful about. Or if you get a promotion, you should be, there's challenges, but you should really be ecstatic. It should be more of a pleasant thing than a negative thing. But a lot of times it is, because it comes with a lot of responsibilities and things that sometimes people just don't even want to deal with. They feel like they have to deal with, even with marriage potentially, even though I've never experienced that, but I've lived with two people who've been married for a very long time. So I've seen some of the stresses that can occur from a marriage. But every marriage is different. So that's just a very general, statement, but I've seen these things. All right, let's move on. So more unpleasant events such as divorce, major financial setback, or death in the family can be significant sources of stress. Yeah, I totally get that. So your stress level will differ based on your personality and how you respond to situations. Some people let everything roll off their back. To them, work stresses and life stresses are just minor bumps in the road. Others literally worry themselves sick. Very true. As I said, it lowers your immune system, which is your ability to fight off diseases and sicknesses. So related effects of stress. So I'll make another video on this one. All right, I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.